Hey, what's up, guys? This is a Tranquil Living Uruguay podcast, and I'm Vanessa, your host. So, the craziest thing about driving here in Uruguay is how there is literally no respect for the police on the road. There have been many times where I've seen cars and trucks just passing up cops, cutting them off, and nothing happens to the driver. Everyone just continues about their day. Welcome to driving in Uruguay. There's the good, the bad, and just the crazy. After years of living here, I have had plenty of experience of Uruguay's roads firsthand. I am on the road a lot in the city, on highways, on rural roads, and the driving culture did take some adjusting to be completely honest. After almost 6 years of driving here, there are just some driving habits that I still don't understand the logic behind it. To give you an idea, it's basically a free for all. So let's start with the good. Would I recommend owning a car? Yes. I personally genuinely enjoy having a car. Having the autonomy to go wherever I want, whenever I want, when I want is just invaluable freedom to me. I don't like relying on others or other time schedules. There was a period of my life where I didn't have a car for 5 years, and that's when I was living in Washington, D.C. I was taking the public transportation, the metro, the bus, uh, to and from work, going out, living about my daily life. I lived in a walkable neighborhood, but I just really did not like it. Personally, having a car is the best way for me to explore and get the lay of the land. So, what's good here, focusing on the good for now, what's good here is the road infrastructure. Highways and roads are actually nicely paved. In the city, there are some areas where there are potholes. I think that's just because of the more frequent driving and use of the roads. But in my experience on the highways, they're paved really well. And I actually see them getting repaved when it seems unnecessary. The lines and the lanes are clearly marked, but that doesn't mean people actually stay within the lanes. And, road trips and long distance driving along the Rambla or the East Coast or the countryside, it's just really beautiful, to be honest. Um, Another good thing is that there's zero tolerance for drinking and driving here. There are serious consequences if you are caught drinking and driving. So don't do it. There's zero tolerance for it. I also like the fact that car insurance is required, but it doesn't mean everyone has it. So, you know, I've never seen a cop pull anyone over. In the US, cops are literally hiding out, waiting for you behind a tree, a bush, around the corner, just like waiting to make a traffic violation stop of either speeding, running a red light, or rolling through a stop sign. I've never had to worry about that here. Never in my 6 years has a cop come out to stop and, pull someone over for a traffic violation. Another good thing is for paid parking, you can pay online through WhatsApp. There's a special number that the Intendencia, which is like the city local government, and you can just text them. You have to have your account, like your car, license plate, and name and everything registered already, but it's a quick like registration. It's literally all through messaging this number on WhatsApp. And so whenever you get to the parking spot where it's paid parking, once you arrive and park, you get on the app, text them to start the clock, and then whenever you pull out, text them to stop the clock for the paid parking. And it's actually pretty cheap. It's really just like a few dollars, to be honest, depending on how many hours you're there. If you forget to end the clock, they'll send you a WhatsApp message reminder saying, hey, you didn't end your time for the parking. Do you want to end it? And you just say yes. So the parking and the pay for parking and being able to do it on WhatsApp, it's really convenient and easy. And Waze navigation app is your best co-pilot here, so definitely download it and use it at all times. So, here are a few things that surprised me coming from the United States. Police aren't hiding behind a corner or tree to pull you over for a traffic violation. They just don't pull people over in their cars. And there will be inspectores, which are traffic stops. And these are like inspectors that are on foot. But in the 6 years that I've lived here, I've never seen an actual cop car pull someone over the side of the road for a traffic violation. And when you do go to these traffic stops, they'll just literally ask for your license and your registration card. And that's pretty much it. The funny thing is that they have always been so nice to me. I still use my California license. So that usually tends to spark a conversation like, oh, where are you from? How long have you been living here? Etc. And it turns into this whole like conversation because they're just curious. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I really need to go pick up my daughter from school. I'm gonna be late. So it's kind of funny. They just kind of want to chit chat with me. Something that was different at first to me being American is that on the sides of highways or the grassy middle ground in from New Orleans. So we actually call that neutral ground. The people like to either run, walk, exercise, or even play soccer in the grassy areas of big highways. And it seems kind of like dangerous. Like that's something like we just don't see in the US. So that's one cultural thing. Also, on like a nice weekday afternoon or on the weekends, you'll see families and couples and friends. They like to pull over on the side of the road and post up with their folding chairs and drink their mate and watch the sunset. So that's a very like Uruguayan cultural thing to do, which again, you would never see that in the US because it's not allowed. Another thing that is weird or different here is that people put their flashing emergency lights on very often as they're driving. So I was used to this being used only like really bad rain, um, bad heavy rain weather where you can't see the car in front of you, or an actual emergency where I needed to pull over. But here, people turn on their emergency lights all the time and they use it to indicate that they're basically are slamming on their brakes because they didn't leave enough space in front of them to brake normally. So, boom, you see the flashing lights all the time. Or if you want to see someone make a turn, if someone wants to turn, sometimes they'll just put on their flashing lights so you like slow down, stop behind them so they can make their turn. I don't know. And then another cultural thing here is it's normal to see people drinking mate, holding holding the mate cup with their thermos under their arm while driving a stick shift car at the same time. So and when you're here, you kind of realize like how crazy that is because like how can you control the car while doing multiple things with your hands at one time? And it's not like the mate cup actually fits in a cup holder because it doesn't. So if you do live here, you know what that's like. You've seen it. But if you haven't visited yet, be on the lookout for that. It's wild. Okay, so now let's get into the bad. These are my everyday annoyances of being on the road in Uruguay. All right. The first one is just motorcycles and scooters zooming and zipping in and out of cars all the time in a very dangerous way. I have seen lots of accidents happen um, and lots of very near close uh, accidents, and it's just the motorcycles and the scooters are just too much. Bikers and electric scooters in the middle of the road and not using their bike lanes or not being on the side of the road. That's a little annoying. Street parking in Montevideo can be hard. So be prepared if you have an appointment to get somewhere. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to find parking. Another was that they don't know how to merge onto the highways here. I learned that you have to go, growing up in the US, I learned you have to go at the speed of traffic to merge onto and off of the highway. Here, the cars that are on the highway will actually purposefully speed up to not let you merge onto the highway. And it's like the craziest thing. It's like it just feels like so disrespectful, to be honest. The cultural norm, it seems, for merging onto the highways is going to a complete stop, and then after coming to a complete stop, slamming on your gas to like get on the highway before another car approaches. It's insane. It just things that just doesn't make sense. Another pet peeve of mine is that light bulbs, like the tail lights of a car, go out all the time. Oh my gosh. Even my car, I have had to change them out every 3 months because the quality of these bulbs is they're so bad. They're such low quality, they don't last long. And so you'll see a lot of cars at night with burnt out light bulbs all the time because these bulbs just suck. Another one's the bus drivers are very risky here. Oh my gosh, I've seen so many bus drivers just pull out in front of you all the time. So say if there's a bus you're in the left lane, a bus is in the right lane, and they're approaching a car that's at a standstill in front of them. So instead of normally slowing down, waiting to check to see if there's enough time or room for them to go over, they will just automatically start merging into your lane. And it's crazy. They just expect you to move and get out of the way. It's actually really crazy. Okay, so this next one is really funny. I know I've been living in Uruguay for a long time when I've noticed street names or street directions have changed. So this has happened to me on multiple occasions where the direction of a street got changed from either a two-way to just a one-way, or in another instance where a one-way, like going right, got changed to a one-way going left, just out of the blue. So you just get thrown off, and it's something that you or the other drivers who, if you frequently go on these roads, you don't even realize until it's almost an accident prone situation and everyone else is, driving in the opposite direction on the road, honking at you. Like, this one literally cracks me up because it's happened to me at least 3 times. And then another thing is that the names of the roads change just out of the blue. That's also a weird one. Okay, so now let's get into the ugly. These are things and driving behaviors that they're just so frustrating to me and things I just can honestly never understand. Uh, so first, the speeding tickets. Wowzers. Okay, here speeding tickets are $300 and up. That's what you have to expect to pay. Sometimes there are signs warning you of upcoming speed cameras, other times not. These signs, specifically that I'm thinking of, they're small, black and white, I'd say very demure, and it's done like that on purpose, which is why Waze is your best friend and great to have on at all times because it will alert you to when there's a speeding camera coming up. Sometimes they don't, so I am just always on constant high alert. So, in terms of the speeding cameras, there's 3 kinds. There's the fixed speeding camera, there's a movable speeding camera, and this one is where it'll appear one day and then within a few days it's gone. Okay. Then there's a mobile speeding cameras that are on a van. So they're fixed to the top of the van, and this car is just driving around the road. And if you happen to be speeding next to that van, it'll clock you. So you would think like the high cost of these speeding tickets deters people from speeding, but no, not at all. People are just constantly speeding around here. um, okay. In terms of ugly, the second thing is uh, seeing 2 to 3, sometimes 4 people, including kids, on one motorcycle and not wearing helmets, usually on their way to school. And it's sad to see, but it's the reality. It does happen. To be prepared for that. I'd like to say the Uruguayans, they're all tranquilo, very tranquil, relaxed until they get behind a wheel. And I don't know if it's like this like psychological thing, like defensive thing or what. But the personality of drivers on the road does not match or reflect how they are in person. To be honest, it's the strangest thing, and I'm always asking like, where did this come from? What happened to the tranquilo part of the local Irvine's personality? It's just boom, gone as soon as they get in car. And the like my one gripe with in terms of the speeding thing, like the fast drivers are very rude on the road. They will tailgate you really bad, whether you're in the city or on a highway. They'll flash your lights at you like maniacs. And they just like expect you to move over when you're going, okay, one, you're either going at the speed limit or higher than the limit. And they expect you to just pull over, but like they don't have like the forethought to see like what's in front of them. And so it's like impossible to get over the side of the road when they're just acting like maniacs, like flashing and honking. It's just like insane. So, so just to wrap up, that is like my top ugly scenarios here of being on the road in Uruguay. Just in general, though, driving in Uruguay as a foreigner, it's not that different. You just have to be ready to go with the flow, be defensive and offensive, and there's just kind of like these unwritten road rules that you'll start to get to know, but it'll come with time. And I do think that city driving is distinct from like countryside or smaller town driving. So if you do live in a smaller town, it won't be like as stressful than if you were driving in through Montevideo all day long. And if you're thinking about moving to Uruguay and if you do a scouting trip or if you're visiting on vacation, like I just recommend renting a car just so you can experience what everyday driving is like here. And you'll get frustrated, but at least you'll know what you're getting yourself into. Because sometimes learning to live abroad means learning how everyone else drives and does things. So, anyways, thank you so much for listening or watching. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, follow the channel to support me and so you never miss an episode. My goal of Tranquil Living Uruguay is to be your passport to Uruguay, a place I call a hidden gem south of the equator. And remember, life abroad doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be tranquil. Cheers.